I think the firmament, pi, and Nikola Tesla's 369 theory are all connected. This video might blow your mind. So I started looking at pi, and you're basically just measuring a circle. I just stared at this image for a few minutes, and then the Bible verse popped into my head about looking over the circle of the earth. The more I looked at what pi actually is, I found out that you can't really create a dome or an arch in architecture without using pi. So then I started to think, are they measuring the firmament with pi? And then for some reason I kept thinking of Nikola Tesla's 369. So in Kings 7:23, it says, "Then he made the sea," I think this is the waters above, "of cast metal. It was round 10 cubits from brim to brim and 5 cubits high, and a line of 30 cubits measured in circumference." So I started plugging numbers into pi to see if these worked. Stick with me, this is all gonna pull together and it's crazy. I had ChatGPT run the math on 3.33 repeating instead of the 3.14 number. For a circle with a radius of 10 units, when you replace pi with 3.33, it converts to 66.6. So the biblical value of pi as derived from 1 Kings 7:23 and 2 Chronicles 4:2 appears to be an approximation of 3, but some interpretations suggest it might imply a slightly more precise value, such as 3.3 repeating. So it says the verse doesn't account for the basin's thickness if the measurement of 10 cubits refers to the outer diameter and the circumference of 30 cubits refers to the inner circumference. The true ratio would increase slightly. And here it just breaks down the math. Keep in mind, this is the quantum computing model, and look at what they call the particles. Qubits, just like in the Bible. And we can energy harvest with piezoelectric, pi. And the hemisphere would come out to 999. Keep in mind, this is what a hemisphere actually is. So then I asked it to create an image of a geodesic dome over a flat earth model utilizing 3.33 repeating as pi. Guys, my mind is shook. It has the sacred hexagons, and hexagons are the most powerful energy producers. And it even put in a hexagon grid completely on its own. And it looks like it took an ancient astrology map and applied it to the bottom. It looks just like this, and this perfectly explains why Polaris is in the middle and the rest of the stars rotate and how we get our astrology. Not to mention that this looks exactly like this, and this looks exactly like this. And this is an image that ChatGPT created when I asked it to make a 369-degree circle. How weird is it that it even has the circles on the outsides just like this one does? So then I asked, how might 3, 6, and 9 be relevant in this model? And it says 3 as the central point from which all else radiates. 6 could represent intermediate points or radial lines dividing the Earth into sections similar to a hexagonal layout. 9 could symbolize the outer edge or boundary often associated with the ice wall, making the completion of the structure, which made me think of the black hole sun model that states that all of creation comes from the North Star and the black hole sun like meeting at the North Pole and then projecting all of reality outwards. So on this model, I think the North Pole would be 3, the ice wall would be 9 because that's completion, and then where we live is 6, where creation and completion meet halfway in the middle. 3, 6, 9. So a lot of us know about the ley lines. Ley lines are basically just energy grid lines that people theorize connect us to free energy. Almost all important structures like the Statue of Liberty, the Leaning Tower of Pisa, the pyramids, they all fall on like vertices of the ley lines. I think that the energy coming out of the black hole sun is meeting at the vertices on the 369 geodesic dome. I sound nuts, but whatever. And I think that this is somehow creating the ley lines. Remember, Tesla's whole thing was free energy and harnessing electric. I truly do believe that this is the great mystery around 369 and that it's really just the firmament, and that the pi they give us is not true pi. So then I started talking to ChatGPT about it again. It says, some flat earth theories propose that the firmament has properties that refract or distort light. If the firmament were a geodesic dome centered on the North Pole, the highest point of the dome could potentially create unique effects on the light and visibility. At the North Pole, light might behave differently as it interacts with this apex, possibly creating phenomena like the aurora borealis or other atmospheric effects in this region. This could be explained by theories that suggests the dome has refractive or reflective properties that affect how we perceive light and celestial objects. In this model, the geodesic dome might influence air currents and weather patterns, particularly if the dome is seen as a barrier containing Earth's atmosphere. With the North Pole as the dome's center, circular or spiraling weather patterns might radiate outward, contributing to the concept of the polar vortex or other weather phenomena that start from the poles and move outward. This also validates climate zones. And this scripture blew my mind when I realized this. So this is when he comes back back for his bride. It says, "The voice of my beloved, behold, he comes leaping over the mountains, bounding over the hills. My beloved is like a gazelle or a young stag. There he stands behind our wall, gazing through the windows, looking through the lattice." Do you guys know what it's called when you weave pie crust together on top like this? A lattice. Pie. It's measuring the firmament. This is a lattice. This is a lattice. They're both pie, except one's a pastry. I'm sorry, I don't know if that's coincidental. I don't think it is. I think God is like hilarious. The first person to accurately estimate pi was literally named Archimedes. They're telling us. I don't believe most of these people in history were real. And if they were, there was like fake stuff about them. And think of the word piety. It means religious or holy. Pi. They're saying that the person operates in a way of like being beyond the firmament. Like they're godly, they're complete. Fibonacci spiral, SPI. Spiral. Pi is in there. Piano starts with pi. The piano has 88 keys. There were 88 books in the original Bible. There's 88 constellations divided into 7 octaves. 7 is God's number, and cycles of 12 keys. In the book of Enoch, there's 12 stargates that the sun and moon come and go from. Pine cone. The occult worships the pine cone. The pine cone has 369 in it. Pilots. They are flying across the skies next to the firmament. Epiphany. There's PI in there. That's the revelation of Christ. Pineal gland, which is shaped like a pine cone. It has 369 built into it. Pioneer. Pioneer. Creating something. You're pioneering it. Let me know what you guys think, or if you have anything to add to this. I would love to hear it because I'm so interested in this topic and I'm like mind blown at the images that it created and like the pieces I was able to connect. As always, this is for entertainment purposes only. I'm completely crazy. Don't listen to a word I say.